Now I'm going to tell you a quick story about bringing the baby home. Um, I am now entering into the room where my wife and my baby are, and I'm so happy, and I'm gonna grab my baby. I'm gonna take her downstairs, or we're gonna take him downstairs, and we're gonna get in the car and we're gonna go home. I get there and the nurse is like, "Well, where's the car seat?" And I'm like, "What do you mean, where's the car seat? It's in the car, right?" She's like, "Yeah, but we've got to bring the car seat upstairs. I need to see you put the baby in the car seat so I know that the baby's safe." And I was like, "Oh, okay." So then I had to go back down, go get the car seat, come back into the ward, and then put the baby in the car seat. So that being said, there are, certain things that you need to do when you're about to exit the hospital. Be careful that your wife has obviously just gone through labor, which means that her legs and her body and her abdomen, all of those are going to be in pain. They're not going to be functioning the best way. So if she needs, do have a wheelchair available. Ask the hospital, can we get a wheelchair to get mother and baby downstairs? Or just, help your wife walk down slowly so that she's not in further pain. And of course, make sure the baby is secured in the car seat properly whilst you bring the baby down. Now, before you actually bring wife and baby home, I would definitely suggest that the house is prepared. So obviously make sure it's clean, it's smelling nice, it's a welcoming environment, but also ask your friends and family to help you out. Maybe they're at home right now whilst you're in the hospital getting your wife and your baby, and they are putting up balloons and decorations. And I think that's so important, not for the baby's not going to remember this, but really important for your spouse. Why? Because you want your spouse to feel that she has just gone through one of the most important phases and achievements in her life, right? And that's exactly what it is. Giving birth is one of the most amazing things and unique things that anybody could ever do in their life. And you want her to feel like when she gets home, she is welcomed in that way. Now, this is a true reality. Not every birth and every pregnancy and every labor goes smoothly and goes the way that you expect in your head. It's very common that the wife and the baby have to stay in the hospital, maybe for extra day, maybe for extra week, maybe for a few weeks. Why? Because there could be complications on the baby. There could be complications on your spouse, on your wife, because of the difficulty of the pregnancy. Now, what are some of the common things that could occur? So here's a few common things that you as the husband, as a spouse, need to be aware of that could happen post-labor. The baby could have jaundice, where there is yellowing on the body, and that requires for there to be some phototherapy. And that means that the baby will have to stay in the hospital so that the medical professionals can perform the phototherapy. There could also be tearing on the private part, which means that your spouse will have to stay back in the hospital until that is healed and recovered properly. And there could be much more tragic things that do take place, unfortunately. So it's important as a spouse, you are aware about what could potentially prevent your wife and your baby from coming home, and you are resilient towards that, and you're supportive in those situations. And so because of these potential complications that could happen, your paternity of 2 weeks that you get from work may not be enough. So I'd recommend from now that you let your employer, your work, your boss know that you're going to need maybe a few extra days beyond the paternity, potentially from your annual leave, or if they're able to give that to you as an extended paternity leave, so that you can deal with these complications that could occur and you could be as supportive and as available as possible.